All right, guys, so it's been about 4 years since we've been here. So typically we get our yearly checkup. So today is the day, well, not a year to be exact, but today is the day we're going to do our yearly checkup. So we're going to head down to Plaza La Salud to get what they call it, not the, I want to say permission, but references, so we can take our specialized tests, because you can go to the doctor. Like if I wanted to go and have some blood work done, I can go straight to one of the laboratories and do it. But what'll happen is they'll charge me out the pocket and won't consider my insurance, because they say you need to have a prescription from the doctor or a doctor's reference sending you down there. So in order to get that, we're gonna go to Plaza La Salud, speak to the doctor, let them know the type of test that we want to have done for our yearly checkup. He's gonna write the prescription out. Then we're gonna take that to the laboratory or to those specialized clinics to get the work done, all right? So we're gonna head out to Plaza La Salud, and guys, I'm gonna keep you posted. This video is probably gonna go over several days, maybe a week, because it's a few things we have to do. And of course, you can't do it all in one day. So we're gonna head down there now, and I'll keep you posted. All right, so we just got back from the doctor. So we got our prescriptions, our references, and the place that we're going to go to get our test done is a place called Referencia. There's several of them around here in Santo Domingo, and you don't have to make an appointment. You can just go down. So what we're going to do, we're going to go down there early, because right now it's in the middle of the day, and I already know probably gonna be a whole lot of people. They open at 6 o'clock there. So we're gonna try to get down there early one morning at about 6 to get all our exams and tests done, and I'll keep you guys posted. All right, guys, so today is the day. So I got my references. I'm on my way. Matter of fact, we on our way. Nabarish and my daughter, they're upstairs, they're getting ready. We're all about to go down here. They all have tests to take, even my daughter. So we're gonna run down here. Of course, I won't be able to record. I'm sure not in the doctor's office, but I'll let you guys know about the results and all that stuff once I get it done. And I'll see if I can take some shots. So, all right. All right, so we've made it back here from the doctor's office. And what they did was they drew blood, of course. They pricked me twice. So they pricked me when I first got there, and then they told me to go run around the block, spin the block for about 15 to 20 minutes and come back, and then they'll prick me again. So that's why the second prick was there. And I don't know why I didn't know why they were telling me to do that. Then I asked my wife to ask them, why I gotta run around the block and then come back? And they said because some type of, to check if I got some hormones growing. I don't know, man. I mean, maybe because, you know, I'm 6'1". And they think I'm getting too tall or something. So maybe that's it, I don't know. Anyway, the next thing they had me do, or wanted me to do, was do this urine test, but I was not able to urine while I was there. Also, they gave me this. I didn't even know what this was, but this is the poo-poo test. And I'm not gonna lie, I ain't never did a poo-poo test, or I can't remember. Yes, I have done a poo-poo test before, but it's been so long ago that I've done a poo-poo test. So this right here, the poo-poo test, and I wasn't able to do the poo-poo either. So I'm gonna get on some of this Dominican food, and I'm sure that Dominican food gonna help me out with that right there. But so once I do that, I could take it back to the laboratory, and then they'll take care of everything. Now, they were not able to do certain tests there. I can't remember which ones that I called out to you. They were not able to do it at that particular one. Now, they do it at other branches, but just not at that one. I just don't think they have the equipment necessary to do like the scans and the x-rays and things like that. That place seems like it's more set up for, like, you know, blood work and things like that over there. So I'm gonna have to make an appointment. Well, not really make an appointment, because you could just walk into these places. I'll keep you guys posted on my next doctor's visit, which I'm going to do. Today is Monday. I'm gonna do this one on a Wednesday. So we're gonna go over there Wednesday and we're gonna finish it up. But today I'm gonna finish my urine test, my poo-poo test, and I'm gonna take it back over there. And once I get the results of all of them, I'll let you know. All right, guys, so I just got back from the clinic. I think it's called Sedisa. I had to do some other tests. Remember when I went to Referencia, I wasn't able to do everything over there. What they did was they only did like the blood work. So I had to go to, I think it's Sedisa. I have to look at look at it again to do the specialized tests like the sonograph and the radiograph test. So I had to go to those specialized clinics to get that done. I don't have the results yet. I think the results are gonna be ready maybe in a couple of days or day or so. That's all I got right here. Once I get the results back, I'm gonna tell you how much all of it cost me with insurance. I'm gonna recap everything that I did so you'll understand how important insurance is when you're living or traveling abroad. You need that insurance, all right? So my phone's ringing now. So I'm gonna see you guys once I get the results. All right, guys, so the results are in and we're gonna talk about the test, the results, the cost. But before I share the results and all that with you, I want to go over again, do a small recap of the process. So the way we did it was, the first thing we did was we went to Plaza La Salud, which is a general hospital here in Santo Domingo, to see a general doctor. And the reason why we went there to see a general doctor is because we wanted him to refer us to a private clinic to have these tests ran instead of doing it in the hospital. Now, you could go to a private clinic outside of the hospital and have these tests ran, but they won't accept your insurance. So in order for them to accept your insurance, you have to be referred by a general doctor. So first we went to Plaza La Salud, spoke to a general doctor, and we told him what we wanted to have done. And what we wanted to have done was we wanted blood work. I wanted to have a electrocardiogram, an EKG done. I also wanted to check for prostate. I wanted them to do x-rays, and just everything that embodies, you know, a yearly checkup, just to make sure your boy is running, you know, running real well, that my machine is well oiled. So, and I'll go over some of the tests that I took and all that stuff too. So to go see that doctor, it was about 700 pesos, which is about $11.66 is what we paid to go see the doctor, to get him to write us a reference or a prescription. They call it prescription, to go have all these tests ran. So once the doctor gave us our prescription, we decided to go to a clinic called Referencia. It's many of them throughout the city. You go to Referencia. They also have, I think, what's that other one called? Amadita. They got all those all over Santo Domingo. So we chose Referencia. So when I went to Referencia, the only thing they could do was blood work. The other tests that I needed ran, they were not able to do. So when I went to Referencia, I had all my blood work done, and that cost me 951 pesos, which is about $15.86. Let's just say $16 for them to run all my blood work. And some of the blood work they ran was like for prostate, cholesterol, potassium, a urinalysis, sodium, triglycerides, glucose. So those are all the type of things they were checking for when they drew my blood. The results from that came back as my prostate was good. There was no concern about me having prostate issues. The one thing the doctor did see, that he said that that he could see just a small amount of cholesterol around the liver. So I need to, you know, kind of look at my diet, watch what I drink or how much I'm drinking and things like that. So I am going to tend to that because I want to be around for a long time. So that was that with my blood work. Since they couldn't do the other tests that I wanted ran in Referencia, we went over to a place called Sedisa, and that's in Gasquay. And they ran 3 tests over there for me. And one of the tests was a abdominal sonogram they ran for me. And that's to check the health of all my organs. That was fine. That test right there cost me $1.50. It was 93 1,030 pesos. The other test they ran over there for me was the male pelvic sonogram. That checks like your bladder, your prostate glands, and all the surrounding structures of that. And that too cost me 93 pesos, which is about $1.50 or $1.56, whatever you want to call it. The next test they ran was chest x-rays, and that cost me 118 pesos, which turned out to be like $1.97 for this particular test. So with the chest x-rays, both sonograms, the pelvic and the abdomen, all that came out good. No problems there, no problems there. So let me backtrack real quick. Once both clinics gave me the results of those tests, when Sadisa gave me the results of the x-rays and the sonograms, and Refianza gave me the results of my blood work, I had to then go back to Plaza La Salud to let the general doctor read the results and interpret them to me. And that's what I'm interpreting to you guys now, trying to, because it's all in Spanish. So, but when I went back to him, I had to pay another 700 pesos, which is about $11.66, to have him read that to me. So all of that, what I did, and that came out to be around 2,655 pesos, which is about $44 or 45 US dollars that I paid for everything. Without insurance, I don't know what I would have paid. I'm sure it would have been several $100s just to have all this done. But like I told you guys, we have insurance with Universal ARS, and we pay an equivalent of $185 per month for a family of 3. So also during that last visit, when I went to the doctor to have him read the results, one thing he did notice too was that he thought my blood pressure was high every time I went in there, and he tested it. And I have a blood pressure monitor here, so I test my blood pressure all the time. And it does, it fluctuates sometimes. It just depends on what I'm doing, what I'm thinking about. It will fluctuate. What I try to do is I try to take my blood pressure in the morning. That way it kind of gives me a average reading of it. And typically in the morning it's lower. Throughout the day it gets high. But I've also changed up my diet just a little bit to kind of combat that. I know that my blood pressure fluctuates up and down. I need to kind of get control of it. But like I said, I removed salt out of my diet. Well, let me not say I removed salt out of my diet. I try to remove salt out of my diet where, typically if my wife makes a salad and she'll bring me the salt and pepper, I just don't even put the salt on anymore. Or when she cooks and she brings my food to me, she gives me salt and pepper to sprinkle on there. I no longer do that anymore. I say, hey, take that back. I start trying to eat without salt. And another thing I try to do to improve my health is I cut out as much refined sugar as I can. Like, I don't put sugar in my coffee. I try to stay away from sweets. I am a sweets fanatic. I love chocolate. So I don't do sweets as much as I used to. I still do them, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe once a week I may, order me a cinnamon roll or some chocolate or something from Uber Eats. But I tried to cut back on that as much as possible. Another thing I stopped doing too is I stopped buying bread. So I no longer eat bread. I'm staying away from white bread. To be honest with you, I hadn't eaten bread in probably about a month now. I just stay away from it. You know what I'm saying? Meaning in the house. Now, if we go out or something like that and they may bring some bread or something like that, or I go to McDonald's or fast food and have a burger, yeah, I'm gonna eat bread, but I used to eat a lot of bread here in the house. So I used to keep a loaf of bread in the morning. And a lot of times it was wheat bread. I was eating wheat bread. But I just want to leave the bread alone. I'm not gonna say I cut out the rice because it's hard to cut out rice here, but I have dialed back on the rice. So when my wife cooks rice, because Dominicans, they love rice. What I do now is I substitute that with cauliflower, asparagus, or broccoli, or just a salad, just a regular salad. So we're having like pollo guisado, they eat that with rice and all that other, and plátano and sweet plantains. Cut all that out. just give me a garden salad. And I also drink water all day long from the time I wake up to the time I finish working. I know contrary to popular belief, we don't drink all the time. Typically when I have a drink, it's after work hours, it's after I finish everything, which is sometimes around 6 or 7 o'clock, where I may go out on my patio and I may drink a drink. So those are some of the things that I'm trying to do, along with starting back to exercise more. Now, I'm not just gonna drop everything right now, but I am going towards a little lifestyle change, you know what I'm saying? Because again, I want to be here a long time, so we got to make sure we keep our health in check. So that's all I have here about my visit to the doctor and my yearly checkup. If you guys got any questions, you can definitely drop them in the comment section below. And guys, remember, always keep your goals at the forefront of your mind. Always live in the present, because that's the only way you're going to live your best life. And I'm out. Peace.